worked around a person that sucks the life out of the room. Who's sitting beside one right now? It's a funny group. There's a woman doing this. Well, there was two ways to make it. Have a relative in senior management. That's always good for a promotion. Or be gifted at I had no relatives. But I was gifted. Avenue Q in Lubbock, Texas. I walk into a Taco Bell one night, and the kid behind the counter says this to me as I walk in. Sup? I said, what's up? He said, you need something. I said, I want a beef burrito, but I'm worried. He said, about what? I said, I don't think you have the energy to pull it off. You know what he said to me? He said he was burned out. I said, you're not burned out. He said, how do you know? I said, I don't think you've ever been lit. 12-year-olds with me in Pasadena, Texas. I'm speaking in front of about 4,000 teachers, and I said this. I said, Alex, do me a favor. Sit down front. Don't say anything. He says, okay, Poppy. He's sitting down front. Now, I always ask this, and since you're all in leadership, I'll just ask this. I said, define leadership in one word. If you can define leadership in one word for me, and it's the word that I have defined it as, I will sign a copy of my book, Enjoy the Ride. It's yours at no cost. No one ever gets it. Except a teacher that day in the front row said, influence. I turned and I was like shocked. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is going to be a sharp group. Until I walked away and heard Alex say to that teacher, stick with me, I've got all his answers. Purpose is the drive. Passion's the fuel. Pride is the definition of who you are. You take pride. I remember somebody saying to me recently, and it was another speaker who said, you make it look easy. I said, it's not easy. I said, you read, you study, you watch comedians, you watch professional speakers. And as a writer, I read 36 books a year. I read. It's not easy. Here's my theory. You prepare hard and you finish easy. But I take pride in what I do. I want to be the best. I spent 11 years in a company. For 9 years, I had an incredible career. For the last 2, it became a job because I lost my passion. I was speaking in Seattle, Washington. Several thousand people in attendance, but the man who would steal my heart and the man that I owe a lot of gratitude to would come up to me afterwards. I had never written the book at that moment. The book wasn't even a part of my thought process. He looked at me and he said, as he held my hand, he never let go, and he said, young man, I wish I'd have heard you 31 years ago. I said, how so? He said, 31 years ago, my wife passed away. He said, both of my daughters live on the East Coast. He said, young man, I'm 97 years old. He said, do you know how many times on the way to work, instead of enjoying the ride to work, I was too busy thinking about what I had to do when I got there? He said, young man, you know how many times I ate lunch, and instead of enjoying lunch, I was too busy thinking about what I had to do after lunch? A tear came down his cheek. He said, young man, do you know how many times I sat at dinner with my beautiful wife, who's no longer on this earth, and those 2 beautiful daughters who live 3,000 miles away? He said, you know how many times I sat at dinner, instead of enjoying those moments, I was too busy thinking about what I had to do after dinner? Then he looked at me and he said, both tears. Young man, I'm 97. He said, please never stop telling the audience to live that moment. Because he said, I've lived my life 30 minutes ahead. And he said, I can't go back. I looked at that, and on the flight home from Seattle back to Pittsburgh, I actually wrote those 3 words, enjoy the ride. Then I would write a question. Below that, I wrote, I still have the original piece of paper, where I wrote, are you? Question mark. See, it's not about what you own. It's not about what you have and where you live and what you drive. What it simply is about, do you wake up in the morning, love what you do, have the passion to do it, and enjoy the people around you, and really savor those moments. About the 5th hole, his phone rang. You'll love this one. Old guy digging for his phone. He doesn't even know how to answer the phone. I said, flip it open. He's going like it. I said, flip it. Yeah. Hey, cutie pie. Yeah, cutie pie. He said, yeah, how about Friday night? Yeah, 7 o'clock. Yeah, we'll go eat first, and then we'll go for groceries. Never good to go for groceries before you eat. You never want to be hungry. You buy too much. Yeah, I said, yeah. I'll see you Friday night. This guy's old, right? We get up to the 7th hole, his phone rang again. Hello. Yeah. No, sugar. Friday is not a good night. I walked up to this guy, I said, how old are you? I'm 82. I said, you got more action at 82 than I got in being single for 14 years in 2 holes of golf. I said, what's your secret? He kind of grinned. He said, I'll tell you the secret, man. He said, that's why you should get your hiney out of that cart. He said, keep yourself looking good like me. He said, because when you become 82 and you still have your driver's license permitted to drive at night, you are one popular male. I went to leave the plane, and she says to me, Mr. Gilliland. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I think you need a hug. Of course, I was single. So we hugged for about 6 minutes. And then I put my shirt back on. I just like hugging without my shirt. Said, I hired a speaker last year, Armani, Gucci, Rolex, perfect hair, perfect kids, perfect wife. He was perfect. He said, my guys hated him. He said, they're going to like you. I said, how do you know they like me? You screwed up half your life. My men can relate to you. Every day you wake up, you can make a difference. Here's my question as I end this, and it's this. If I were to go back to your organization, and I were to say to the entire group of people that work there, what 5 people have made the biggest difference in your life? Let me ask you a question. How many of you would be on their list? Make sure every day you wake up that you make someone's list. And if Margaret were here, she would say it this way. It's about being driven by a purpose and fueled by a passion defined by pride. But the gift she would close you with is the gift I'll close you with. It's not how you start this life, and it's not how you finish this life. The true joy of life always has been and always will be in the trip. Make a difference and enjoy the ride. God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you.
When the moderator announced that Steve was coming back up to the stage to speak again, I looked down the row. Everybody in the row leaned forward and smiled in anticipation of Steve coming back. He has that power to command the audience and make them want him to be there. That's his special power.
From his first story, we were really captivated, and the neat part was how he was able to weave real-life stories into practical applications that we could take away.